Also, considering obviously I've known you for like years and years, I had no idea that you were into like architecture or anything like that. So how did you really get into that?
Architecture. Like, well, do you want the like diplomatic answer? Do you
No,
want
I
the
don't
real
want to.
answer?
Why would I want a diplomatic answer on my show? What are you talking about? Diplomatic answer.
Okay, okay, fine. The truth is, right, it's actually kind of simple. I used to love art, or not used to, I still love it, but I loved art, right?
Mm,
Growing up,
mm.
I was very creative. I did art DT for A levels, but obviously I am a Nigerian. Um, so we need to find something that, yes, the art is there, but we need
Yeah,
something that makes the
yeah,
money.
yeah, yeah.
So I was encouraged to do architecture. Don't get me wrong, like when I did my own research into it, it seemed like it was like the best thing ever. And I feel like it could have been for that time. Like, let's say if I was a qualified architect at the time I was sitting my GCSEs, I feel like it would be a different experience. But I do think over the last like 10 years, maybe even a bit more than that, the industry's changed a little bit. But anyway, I got into architecture basically because art, I loved it. Maths, I was decent at. Put it together. What do you get? Architecture.
Architecture.
Um, and yeah, then I think I started to kind of like almost like work backwards to find a passion for it. I think the way that the architecture that I thought I'd be doing at this stage would be like luxury residential or even like hotels and things like that. I think I was more interested in that scale of architecture.
What squad are you in
However,
right now?
I'm doing like office buildings, like skyscrapers and stuff. Like, yeah,
That's still cool.
it's
That's still
it's
very cool, man.
it's cool, but it's more technical. It's not as creative sometimes. I'm working on the interior design portion of it, so that's where I can get that creative
Mm.
flair
Creative
out of
flair
it.
and that.
But yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. Generally, it's not as creative. It's more coordinating. A lot of coordinating with the engineers, the electrical services, and all that sort of stuff. Like just not the stuff that they really tell you when you're like what 17. Like, oh, you want to go into
Yeah.
architecture? They're like, oh yeah, look at these pretty buildings. Look at like the spatial coordination. Like they don't really tell you that. Oh, it's very contingent on the types of projects you work on. And if you're working on larger scale buildings, a lot of the time those creative decisions are limited, they're quite diluted. And also, what's I going to say? Like I've also worked on a train station as well. And as you can imagine,
Which
that's
one?
just it's meant to be in Dublin Metrolink. It's a new thing. It should be done what in 2030 something. But I'm not gonna lie, again, that was literally engineering.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, as you can
Also,
imagine.
Also, you were saying a little bit earlier that the industry has changed recently
Mm,
in the last five,
mm.
10 years. How has that changed?
Well, I would say that the architect's role, like, or I don't know, I think with the economy changing, a lot of projects that would pay you enough to, keep your company up and running would be these larger projects. I think it's harder to take on these smaller projects because now that the architect's roles change, where like maybe the architect initially would be employed for um, the initial surveys of like a building or a site, they'll be employed for, I guess, like the structure of the building. Like the architect's role now has been diluted to literally just design the building, if that kind of makes sense. And then a lot of the other elements of the building are like outsourced, if that makes
Mm.
sense. And because it's been outsourced,
And
that your
subcontracted, I'm
fee,
guessing.
exactly, your
Yeah.
fee is getting split, it's getting more diluted, and then you only get like a tiny bit like of a building that I'm giving like a figurative figure, but let's say a building's like £1 billion. The architects, no, not a billion. Okay, that's a bit too much. Let's
No,
do,
fuck it.
no,
Yeah,
yeah,
let's run
yeah.
it. Yeah, 1 billion.
Okay, £1 billion project. The architect's fee is about 1% to maybe 2.5% of that. But that's not just going to one little
Yeah.
architect, that's getting split across like a massive company. So as you can imagine, it's not that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think other industries they have a little bit more. For example, overtime you might get paid for in other industries as well. We don't have that in architecture as like a norm.
Interesting.
Another thing is that mm, like getting like a not a bonus, what's that thing? You know, like when you get like a lump sum, like you might get a third of your salary given to you at some point. Is it bonuses?
I
Probably
think you're
bonuses.
defining a bonus, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So it is, I feel like honestly, you need to love architecture to stick with it, or you need to pivot and do something yourself with
mm,
your knowledge of architecture, I'll be honest. And potentially even move client side if you want a better pay, and with that, maybe more recognition of your time that you invest into it. So
mm.
I think that's the honest truth.
But how could if you hypothetically were to start your own architecture company, would you have more like would you like that because then you'd have more control over what happens, or is it kind of connected to socioeconomics?
Um, it is obviously social economics do play a part. I think the thing is, I feel like this interview is gonna have me bashing my industry and bashing the UK. But no, what I want to say is, right, obviously, I think both things play a part. So, obviously, in the UK, right now, cost of living is so high. How many, like, I want to go into luxury residential specifically. How many millionaires are gonna be like, yeah, just knock that down, design me a massive mansion, you know, when we've got like obviously London is obviously very overpopulated, so obviously people moving out. But even with moving out, how do we connect back to London? Because that's the main central hub.
Mm,
Like it is kind of, I would say it's a bit difficult, but also again with architecture, there's a lot of restrictions in terms of well, I say restrictions, maybe that's not the right word, but there's legislation you need to abide by, and that can sometimes limit the creativity that
mm,
maybe your client wants or whether you want as an architect. So when you look at potentially taking business to Nigeria, Jamaica, other countries, Portugal, where like, other places where legislation are different, sometimes legislation isn't even written.
yep.
You have you have more flexibility. There's a higher, I don't feel like there's less of a ceiling there. Do you get what I mean?
mm,
And I think that's what potentially can be a bit more attractive for an architect that wants to kind of doesn't want to feel like they're in a box and they have to just do things a certain type of way. They want to push the boundaries. But I feel like having that knowledge of UK legislation actually helps you because it still helps you design in a safe way, if that
mm.
makes sense. And so I think it has its pros and cons. But you said something, what was the initial question? You said something about the social economic value, and then what would I want to do if I
I was yeah, the question I asked was like, would you, I guess in this current economic climate, would you prefer to have your own like architecture company, and obviously, or would that still be restricted heavily by like the amount of investment you can have and all of these things? Like
mm,
how would you prefer things to run? I guess in this
so
country.
maybe the thing is the way that I my dreams um when I think about the way that I dream about things with specifically within the context of staying in this country and building something in here, I would say I wouldn't just limit myself to architecture. It might actually just be a subcategory of what I do.
Mm,
I think I'd want to be or have like some sort of multidisciplinary, I can never say that word, like sort of business where like I focus on interiors. I as a main thing, because I think interiors, I've always preferred it anyway. But focus on interiors, art, even maybe furniture design. I think those sort of things where like these projects are potentially a lot smaller,
mm,
the turnover's a lot faster. You build up a larger portfolio. You learn, I'll say you learn more because rather than working on something for 20 years, 10 years, potentially it's not even built, and then like maybe for half of that you're actively like on the project and the other half you're kind of just observing like what's going on. Like I think I would rather do smaller scale things that, let's say if I took furniture design a little bit further, like there could be a line that's a bit more mass produced and a line that's a bit more bespoke. I feel like I feel like for myself and maybe for the current climate we're in, there might be more of an opportunity for that to be more successful if I was to kind of do something individually rather than houses. But I would also potentially do property development, but that would link into my architectural side. But
Mm.
I would be funding that property development. I wouldn't, yeah, yeah. So I have
I,
more control.
I definitely agree that when you're dealing with like, from clients, if you're dealing with like a bespoke piece of furniture or bespoke anything bespoke, the amount of like, the level of creativity like that you can add into that is way higher.
Mm.
So and I do understand that, but also you were saying earlier like you know, it makes a lot of sense for people to get these qualifications in the UK and then use them elsewhere. And obviously, towards the back end of last year, I was in Australia, and
Mm.
I found when I was in Australia that there's loads of nurses from the UK who now live in Australia because why would you not? like
Better
they've got
weather.
yeah, I'm not even gonna say anything about the weather, right? It's such a 3-0. It's such a forfeit score. I'm not even gonna have to reference the weather. Yeah, like firstly, they get more money. They get more money. Like the cost of living is way less, and you don't have to work as long hours as well. And also because you've been trained in this country, like from what I've seen that there's got to be like at least a department or a team in most buildings which have not necessarily NHS nurses, but there's like at least one doctor in like that will focus on this company or what have you,
Mm.
and often they'll be trained by the NHS. And so my question to you would be like, would you like can you see in the future like loads of people who've recently passed their architecture degrees and what have you, do you think they're just gonna go do one somewhere else? Like, do you think that's likely?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's knowledge is power. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and also say like going to a whole other country and just like I want to start my business. It's gonna be easy. It's probably not. You've got to understand their, I guess, cultural norms. Like, you have to assimilate into that culture. You can't obviously just copy and paste what you've learned in the UK and bring it over. But I think like it's just being able to translate across different contexts. And I think potentially that is an opportunity to do. And to be fair, I guess people already do it. Even these big firms, they're working on projects in Saudi Arabia, in Australia, in what else? In the US, in Canada. Like they are already doing it. It's already a thing that's like people do. Huh. But I think that it is something that potentially individuals might start to explore for themselves as well. I think that would be good. And again, like I think it also kind of stops that individualistic mindset. I think it's good to learn from other cultures and other
Mm.
ways of doing things and almost like strengthen the standard of living across the world. Like, I don't understand why we would keep gentrifying one area to the point where it's like, you know, almost S tier level of living, and then you're just ignoring the areas that could also be pushed up to like B tier or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think, yeah, it just creates more of a collective mindset, I
I
feel
would
like.
say that that's probably a pitfall of capitalism more than anything else. Like
Yeah, probably.
when you look at one area that makes a lot of money, and you
Mm.
want to get more people into that that kind of place. Just make that place nicer and nicer and nicer and nicer.
It's true.
It doesn't really matter about whether or not there are people who may have been like born there, and that doesn't matter. Like it's funny because I've seen gentrification happen on top of gentrification. Like
Literally.
like obviously I live in East London, and there's a whole generation of gentrifiers who are complaining that their houses are that their areas are being gentrified again, and like I was like, bro, come on, like you're the same problem. Like it's the same thing. Like I do find it very, very funny when you look around and there's people who haven't lived around here for 5 years and they're complaining when they're seeing more Gales bakeries and all of these things. Like, mate, these Gales bakeries are here for you. Like, you're the target market, pal. Like,
and the thing is, I think because they're feeling like it's been gentrified again, they're probably feeling like, oh, they're trying to get rid of us because potentially they can't afford it. But that's the thing, like, and that's the thing with gentrification as well. Like, there's pros and cons to it. Not even pros and cons, rather. No, gentrification, when it's actually tailored towards the people that are already living there, is one thing. But typically, they're tailored towards people that aren't living there, and that's where it pushes the people that, you know, these have been their homes for their entire lives, and now they feel like they need to give it up because they don't belong there anymore. And I think that's also an architectural issue. I used to work on, like at uni specifically, I was looking at a lot of social projects, social housing, and things like that. And it was just very interesting, like gentrification. That word, I feel like it's a bit of a trigger word at this point because it's not actually for the people that, you know, would obviously just like, I guess, better quality buildings without the price inflating or like increasing by like 200%. Like, why are we doing that?
Also, you were saying earlier, like, if they do gentrification to help people who live there, have you got a single example of that happening ever?
The thing is, I think again, so obviously from the architect's perspective, I think we're aware of that issue. Like, we're the ones that are like, you know what, we should do this to to retain the people within the area. For example, if there's been a basketball court that has, what's it called, essentially created a more neighbouring community social hub, then that should be kept there. But then you're keeping it there, bringing in different people, and then again you've seen the news with its own narrative, like crime rates and all of that sort of stuff, and it's just like there's a whole narrative, like there's things that are outside an architect's control. The property developer, for example, I want a return on my investment. If I was a property developer, if I'm putting in £1 million, I'm selling each of those units for at least 250k minimum. Like, that's not always affordable for the people that are already living there. So it's just a thing of like, I think the architects can try, but again, there's a lot of things outside of their control that they can actually do.
It all comes back to capitalism, realistically, because you're talking about investment, and when people invest, they want returns on that investment.
Yeah.
And like ultimately, if you look at a building, right, I mean, sure, they could choose to have a really poor quality interior or whatever, which would push down the costs. So they, technically speaking, don't have to charge as much, but that they're gonna make a lot less every month from rent or what have you.
Yeah.
So like, I kind of see it as I see it as a never-ending problem until there's a full-on rebellion or revolution, man. Like, but it's not. We're not gonna do it because no one in this country is about that life.
True.
Unfortunately,
They're just like, they'll complain and then don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Honestly, shout out to the Queen, because her marketing of the whole "keep calm and carry on" thing, that was so effective. That was so
I
effective.
didn't even think about it in that way. That's actually
No,
so true.
think about it. Think about it, because that line came through. What was it? World War One or two? I think it was World War One
Mm,
or something like that. Yeah,
mm,
obviously very effective line then. Yeah, but like the whole keep calm and carry on is like the definition of being a British like general public, because you'll just
yeah,
have to like accept whatever's happening to you, and you got to
yeah,
then adapt to it. Like I'm sure you saw. I'm sure everyone's seen like whenever the French tried to increase the retirement age to 62,
oh, these
bare
are,
rebellions,
yeah,
revolutions. Farmers are just on smoke, and they've been doing
yeah,
this from before social media existed. So there's something within them,
mm,
being French, probably. For all I know, it could have been because of so many people have been guillotined and beheaded for all of this stuff. Yeah, I think there's something within them that says like, no, you can't get away with that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but you know, I've been saying for the last few years that I do believe that we're looking at late stage capitalism. When we compare like, you know, because obviously my dad came to this country when he was like 5,
mm,
and his parents had, I think at that point they had like 9 children. They ended up having like 12 or 13. They supported all of those children off of one factory job.
mm,
One factory job.
yeah,
Like,
it's
this is
crazy.
insanity. Like, if you
Yeah,
compare that to now, obviously I've got like my brother and his wife. Yeah, they work full time. They're well paid. They can only afford to have one child. Like,
it is crazy. It is crazy when you think about it in that way. And like, but don't even think about it in that way. It's just the reality of people's lives right now.
mm,
Like people that obviously would love to have like a big family. It's like, oh, but how can we afford this? And I
mm,
feel like that's not the way I feel like we should have to be forced to think, especially to this degree where it's like, okay, so if I have a child now, nursery fees are gonna be
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
a house deposit each year. Um, and then it's
Might
a
as well
thing
go
of
to
like,
Brentwood.
don't
Oh my
even get me
god.
started.
Oh,
If we start this
also,
conversation,
honestly, I'm so glad they've got to start paying tax now. I'm so glad. I hate them so much. I hate everything they stand for. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. My bad. My bad.
oh my gosh, no, no, but it is true though. It's actually insane. But yeah, yeah.
But also, as 'cause you're saying, you're obviously because your profession currently is being an architect. Obviously, I've never done an architect. I've also never been a civil engineer, but I know there's a lot of beef between civil engineers and architects. Can you please explain this to me and the people, because we're all confused.
Honestly, I've not necessarily worked directly with civil engineers. I've worked mainly with structural engineers
Oh,
and what they call now. We call them MEP. What's it like? The services people, like the people that like they want ducts in the roofs and stuff like that. They want
wait,
not in the roofs,
are you
the roofs
saying
and
that
ceilings.
they want AC, and they're like, no, you're not allowed to have AC.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's just sometimes they need like these things called risers, which is where like their ducts and vents and shafts all go throughout the building. Obviously, I've worked on massive buildings, so I'm looking, even as I'm sat in this hotel room, I'm looking around and I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. How
it's
can
not
I
the
improve
same. This
this?
is, yeah. But anyway, but what I'm saying is like sometimes, for example, now, whew, there's like they would be like, oh, we need this here, we need that here, we need that here, we need that here, there. And I'm like, okay, cool. So let's just go by what you want. And we put it in. And then our building is looking like jaggedy and all that sort of stuff. And you're like, this doesn't work, okay? Can we give you less space here so we now it's all neat and tidy. We can work with this. Now, when we send this to the interior designers, they can do a really nice layout and it works rather than all these bumps and like, no, we don't need that. They're like, yeah, no. Or if we do that, we're gonna add like some big thing on the top of your building, like a big box on the top of your building. And you're just like, come on, guys, like. work with us here. I think that's the sort. Obviously, I'm not even exaggerating the conversation. I think I'm exaggerating how simple the conversation can be. But I promise you, that is the sort of conversation you're dealing with, like, day to day.
So you're beefing with these structural engineers instead of the civil ones. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I've really worked directly with civil engineers, but again, I think it's probably the type of projects I'm working
Yeah, because civil engineers, like they deal with like buildings and stuff like that, and tunnels and like infrastructure like that. But
Yeah, like I've already worked on a train station once, and that's for 6 months. And I'll be honest, like again, it was actually structures and MEP that I was working with on that one as well. And that was, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's talk about the next topic.
okay, well let's get into it, because obviously you were saying earlier that you've got a passion for art, and that's why, at least part of the reason why you're doing architecture. How did you find out that you had a talent to create such evocative pieces?
Um, Honestly, I like growing up, I was really shy, introverted. I didn't
Facts.
speak.
Facts.
What do you fact?
Facts. I've known
What do
you
you?
for years, and that's facts. It's truth.
No, but like I feel like in secondary school I was a bit more loud.
Were you? I didn't know you before, so like maybe, but like I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, exactly. Because you knew me later on in secondary school. I thought I was the loudest woman in the room.
You thought you were what? Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, if you thought I was quiet, so imagine how quiet I must have been in primary school. I promise you, teacher will call my name. I wouldn't speak. Yes, miss. Yes, I was one of them ones. I was one of them ones. I don't know why I was so shy, but anyway, cool. But one thing I did like, obviously being shy or being very introverted, like you're observing people, sounds a bit weird, but you watch people all the time. And I think like because I used to observe things, I used to now like drawing stuff. Not that I was any good at it, I'll just draw. And that would just be like I don't know, my time to myself. Like before you know it, 4 hours have gone past. I'm like, oh, like, and I've been drawing for this long, and I just really enjoyed it. It was almost like therapy for me, if I'm gonna be so honest.
Mm.
And then I got to secondary school, and I was again surprised that my parents were like, "Oh, you like art? Yeah, GCSE, you can do it." I'm like,
Shout
"What?
out
Are
to
you
them.
sure?"
I'm surprised.
You know what I mean? I'm thinking, I'm surprised not being like lawyer, doctor. Where?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, do
yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like, get
That
all of those
it's
things
always
out.
one of it's always one or the other, man.
Do you know what I mean? I was just like, I think they just saw that I really did like art, and they encouraged me to. Oh, sorry, I'm
Right.
still here.
Yeah.
Um, uh, 2 seconds. Ollie, hold. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I'm in a like showing room with my sister, so and my mum, she just loves to. Don't put that in. Don't put that in.
I
But
won't.
yeah.
I won't. It's fine.
Anyway, so yeah, that was the what we talked about. Yeah, yes, and then it came to GCSE choices. All I could do was like sketch like things, painting. Oh, if you told me to hold a paintbrush, I would cry. I'd be like, this is out of my comfort zone. A paintbrush, you're crazy. You're absolutely anything I painted up until that point. I promise you, it's one of them ones. Like, it's like when they're in class, like everyone show your work. It's them ones where you're just like, oh, I lost it. I don't know where it went. Like, do
You're
you know
saying
what I mean?
that while you've got the work in your bag.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was one of them ones. I couldn't paint to save my life. And I only used black and white, like 'cause that's the only thing I felt safe using. Um, but yeah, I did a lot of tonal work, and that was my main priority. And then after that, I think it got to A levels, and I remember my teacher. Shout out to Miss Bixby because obviously she's late now, and I still miss her to this day. But primary school teacher, she literally was just like, okay, if you want an A level, you're gonna have to learn how to paint. Like you're gonna have to learn how to do something else because all this sketching, yeah, yeah, you're good at it. You need something else. And I was just like, oh my God, like how do I do this? And she was like, oh, what do you like paint? I was like, people. And she was just like, okay, cool. Well, you're not making it easy for yourself at all, but let's go. Let's start painting people. And then it obviously with Brentwood School and like the discrimination
Ha!
that we
Yep.
faced. Um,
Yep.
um, what's it called? I was painting skin color,
Mm.
painting, like, the difference between black people and white people, even to the point where like I was painting skeletons because I didn't realize, I thought initially as I went into it, it's like skin, we're all the same on the inside, we all have a
Oh yeah,
skeleton,
yeah,
all of
yeah.
that.
All of that.
I
All of
had
that.
like, yeah, and then I did research and like actually they can tell the difference between, well, somewhat
Just by
tell the difference
skulls,
between
to
us.
be fair.
But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I was like, oh, I was like, wow, so it's actually that deep. And then I started painting our skin complexions onto skulls and stuff like that. And like there was just a whole, as I said, shout out to Miss Bixby. She was pushing that. She was like, no, talk about what you've been through. Like she was pushing that so much. So within my artwork, I was literally talking about race, discrimination, talk about how a lot of the time I was the
Mm.
only black person in the class.
Mm.
Everyone else was white. And then I just said, you know what? I remember there's one of these pieces. I'm not saying it was good, but it was a piece that I did where like I flipped the ratio where now there's only one white person in class and all of us, the rest of the people were
Yeah.
black. And how does it create a different sort of, I don't know, feeling when you look at the painting? Um,
Mm.
but yeah, she really pushed it. And then it got to the point where we started looking at different materials. What do we want to paint on? Do we want to paint on fabrics? So traditional Nigerian fabrics, we want to paint on woods. The wood thing, I absolutely love it. And still it's a signature in some of my artwork today, though I have not really painted on wood since then. I really do need to do that. But essentially, I will paint on a tree to show. So this can be taken in two ways. Some people are like, no, this is ignorant. Some people are like, no, this is a powerful message that you're trying to send. Um, with Black people's history, it is very rich. The good parts, the terrible parts. And it's a thing of like, I think at that point I was trying to show that like I'm not saying at all we need to forget it at all. Definitely not. But it's a thing that I guess we're trying to put behind us. It's almost, I don't know, we're trying to put behind us, but it's still part of our fingerprint in history in this world, if that makes sense. But it's a thing of like, with even with those things, we're not gonna like let it um drag us down, if that kind of makes sense. It was a thing of like, I want to still empower us without forgetting our history. So a tree's the rings of a tree essentially for art. And it's a thing of like, I think at that point I was trying to show that like I'm not saying at all we need to forget it at all. Definitely not. But it's a thing that I guess we're trying to put behind us. It's almost, I don't know, we're trying to put behind us, but it's still part of our fingerprint in history in this world, if that makes sense. But it's a thing of like, with even with those things, we're not gonna like let it um drag us down, if that kind of makes sense. It was a thing of like, I want to still empower us without forgetting our history. So the rings of a tree essentially represent the how old that tree is. So if I've got a tree that's like 1,000 years old and I'm painting on that, I paint someone's a portrait of a black figure on that. That's showing that the history that we've gone through is a part of us, but look at us glowing and thriving and despite everything we've been through. And that was one of the main reasons why the use of the tree was such a major symbolism in my artwork. So yeah.
Mm. Shout out to Miss Bixby. Obviously, I never did art in Brentwood, so I've got no idea who you're talking about. But it sounds like
Yeah,
there was
that's
one
fine.
teacher who wasn't racist, which is honestly, fucking hell, that's class. That is class. I'm very surprised. But also considering, like, obviously I really do like all of the art pieces I've seen you draw. However, I'm black, and like, how are your pieces like received in Brentwood? Because obviously, there's not many of us there's not many of us there. But
I'm not gonna lie, they loved it. They really did love it.
oh,
Surprisingly, I know.
really?
I don't have to explain it, and this might sound again a bit thing, but obviously, I'm gonna talk my talk. Like, if I see something wrong or someone's treating me a type of way, I'm going to say something. However, I don't want to be that person who that's my personality all the time. Every single time I'm in the room, I'm just talking about like
Black
black, 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 black,
struggle.
black.
I like.
Yes.
To be fair, I like that though, because it makes white people feel very uncomfortable, which is like that's one of life's real blessings I found in my life.
Hmm. Um, yeah, like so I also say so yeah, but it was received well, one. Um, and even the old headmaster the same headmaster that you would have met, Ian Davis or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, that side
Yeah,
man.
him.
Yeah, what a side
Yeah.
man.
One of my pieces, again, it was a picture of me on the wood tree thing. He was like, "Oh, it's a really beautiful piece. I got an award for it and everything. It was a really
Mm.
beautiful piece. I want it in my office."
Is
He
it?
had that in his office for a good like year or something.
Well, well, well. I
I was
I am
like,
I'm pleasantly surprised by this.
yeah, yeah. So was I. And then I had to almost fight tooth and nail to get that piece back. I was like, "It's not yours, it's mine."
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Yeah, good,
Bring
good,
that back
good,
to me.
good, 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 good. Yeah, yeah, good, good, good. I'm glad you got what belongs to you back. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
100%,
yeah.
100%. But
So, yeah.
But yeah, I'm just I'm very very pleasantly surprised that your pieces were received well, because obviously from my experience of being in Brentwood, it didn't it I honestly, when you said it was received well, I was like, have we slipped into an alternate dimension? Like that's
Do you know what it is? I think you left before sixth form, but I think in
yes.
sixth form, that was a slight start of a change. Not with, I'm not saying with the students. I'm not saying with the students. I'm not saying with particular teachers who we have also spoken about. I'm not saying with those, or like on an blah blah blah, individualistic. Hey, individual
Individualistic.
level. Yes, there we go. Oh my gosh. Anyway, on that sort of level, but I'll say as a whole, there was starting to be a little bit more aware of things, a little bit.
Interesting.
When I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. Because as I said, Victor was the one that was also, they made him a head boy, first
Mm
black
mm
person to
mm.
be a head boy.
Run,
And
tell them.
for real, well done
Yeah.
to him. But also, it was a thing of like, when he left, he was just like, oh, I'm not leaving quietly. As I said, he reached out to every single black person,
Somehow,
right down about the
somehow he found
experiences.
me, and I wasn't even at the school anymore.
But that's what I'm saying. He did like he was the one that I think really pushed like, no, there's actually things that whether teachers are just they don't care about or they're turning a blind eye to that are going on in this school and it's not right. Just because you're a private school doesn't mean that you shouldn't be up to date with not even up to date with the times, but just like treat people with basic respect. Like there were things that were happening that just shouldn't have been happening. And as I said, with him being the head boy and leaving that mark, and that thing was there documented, and I think they even had like Culture Day or something like Nigeria. No,
That's
no, not.
yeah,
But they would
yeah,
they
yeah. I
would
know.
keep
I
track
hear. I hear you.
at least at a minimum, because I'm not gonna lie, even I'm not gonna lie, when you go into corporate world, sometimes you see those things aren't being celebrated at
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
Black
hear you.
History Month, they're silent, but for LGBTQ Day, they are a month, they are there
I mean,
representing.
ultimately, that's because white men are tend to be in that camp. Whereas there's not as many who care about
Oh,
black history. Like,
yeah.
but obviously, listen, like we can get to speaking about like the our discrimination Olympics, but like we're gonna win in it, so like it's fine. There's not even a point to fill out a team, but
Mm,
like the thing that I really found in Brentwood was like, you see the way how most of the people who we were at school with, they were gonna work with their parents
yeah,
regardless. So
yeah.
it didn't matter
It
to
didn't
them
matter what you
whatsoever.
did.
And like, generally speaking, if you connect that to who had to work, the people who had to work the least became the most racist. Like,
It's true. It's
and
true.
it's
Like
that
they have
is
connections.
yeah. And obviously, when George Floyd was murdered, all of a sudden I'm seeing all of these racists posted up stuff on their story. Like
Oh, those blanks, the black screen
Patrick
thing.
Desmond, dickhead. Matt Luff, dickhead. Matthew Slater Daly, dickhead. I told you I'm gonna gun them. I'm gonna gun
No,
them down. You know.
I don't blame you. Don't blame you. No, literally. And then I found it funny. I think it was George Flashman. Oh,
Oh, that
he just
guy.
posted. No, he just
Oh,
posted whatever, like a normal post, like, sugar hot vibes. Like, I was just like, bro, what are you doing? What are
mate,
you doing?
mate. So
All of them.
sometimes, obviously, I would never want to be white, but like sometimes I'm just like, I wonder how it feels to wake up knowing you've got like no problems. Like you could, no one's put any limits on you at all in
Yeah.
any way. Like that must be
Mm.
nice, isn't it? But so like obviously when you're you're saying when how old would you say you were when you wrote not wrote when you designed your first like real full piece of artwork?
I'm gonna have to say outside of, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably gonna be one of my more recent pieces, like fully. Like, as in, because a lot of the time you're looking at references and you're like, I think it's taken me a while to kind of like break away from the way that school teaches you. Like, you have references, then you paint it. You have references, then you paint it. I was like, no, I want to paint from my what's in my
Mm,
mind.
mm,
When I
mm.
started painting by what's in my mind, things started to look a little bit more surreal, a bit weird.
Mm.
Like, I remember when I showed the one with the nude woman, and my dad saw it, he was just looking at it like,
Staring at it.
What's the yeah, but it was also like, well, what's the meaning behind it? I'm like, I'll be honest, I don't fully know, but I'm not gonna lie, it feels right
It
or
feels
real.
right.
It
Yeah,
feels
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it feels more like me. Like, there's gonna be a series that I do like moving forward. Now that I've got free time, thank God, and I can just paint. There's gonna be a series that I do moving forward. There's these two massive pieces. I bought these big canvases when I was at uni. And then I'll see like a nice Pinterest image. I'm like, oh, well, this is so nice. Let me paint that. And I'll start painting it. And then I wouldn't finish it. 3 years have gone by. 4 years have gone by. I've not touched it again. And I'm like, why have I not touched it? Why have I not finished it? And I just realized that these pieces weren't mine. Like, they were literally just depictions of somebody else's thing that
Mm.
means something to them. So I'm now like, you know what? What I'm gonna start doing is getting these big canvases, painting it again, clearing it, clearing it. People go like, oh my God, why are you ruining like your piece? And I'm like,
It's not
because
mine.
it's not mine. It doesn't
Mm.
speak to me anymore. So, or not even speak to me anymore. It probably never spoke to me. But I think that's something as an artist that you have to kind of like go through, I'm gonna say.
Mm.
It's taken a while again because I feel like sometimes half my mind is within architecture and the corporate world and real life stuff. But I'm actually like, no, let me go back to that girl that was however old in school, quiet, not speaking to anyone, but she had loads of stuff in her head, observing so many things, and now paint from her perspective almost rather than paint from like, oh, what would sell? What would people
Mm.
like? How do I make money? Like, I honestly forget all of that now and start just understanding who I am as an artist, if that makes sense. And right now, I tend to delve into like identity a lot. So, like, being a black woman, what is my identity? How do I want to express myself? My voice, and sometimes it can sound a bit corny. Like, I feel like a lot of artists talk about this sort of stuff, but I'm doing it in my way, whether it looks similar, dissimilar, whatever. I'm doing it in my way. And then another thing is like how that now starts to connect with like how do you interact with other people, how you perceive yourself. There's a piece that I'm gonna be working on to do with black women and hair because I know that's a topic that we talk about
Mm.
all the time, and there's two different sides. Like, wigs are fine, we should do wigs because it's easier, blah blah blah, and it's just what we want to do. And then there's the other side was like, well, actually I want to be more authentic to how
Mm.
my natural hair grows out of my head. I feel like it is all that whole topic. I think a lot of people get irritated on both sides, get very irritated because it's almost just like, well, let's say if I've grown to love and become confident with wearing a wig, why is someone else telling me that that's not okay? And the other person's just like, well, it's a wig, so like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not your hair. It literally isn't your hair. Even if it's a curly wig, it's not your hair. Like, you've got.
Mm.
I could understand the frustration from both sides because I've literally been on both sides. I've worn the wigs in the past, but I think I've come to a point where I've realized that actually, um, for me to feel my most authentic self, I need to learn how to
Mm.
like
It's
wear my hair.
it's very interesting because like I didn't realize that particularly black women, they wear wigs everywhere. I didn't realize that until I was maybe like 18 when my friend told me. And when she told me that, I was like, rah. I was like, oh my goodness. 'Cause obviously, yeah, I'll be looking at people's hair, but like, until you realize, oh, it's obviously a wig, you're not gonna think it's a wig, is it? But like, it's very interesting because like, to me, hair, like, black hair has got slavery connotations linked to it. Like, no white person can say, "Oh yeah, okay, cool. We're gonna like, oh yeah, I'm gonna create a map with my straight hair, which would teach the slaves how to get." That's nonsense. So like, that's something that only black people can really do and connect to. And but also, I would say that just the term dreadlock, it's not dreadlock. It's just locks. Like,
Yeah.
like the white man, the English man came through, was like, "Ah, I'm dreadful." Dreadlocks. That's essentially what happened. But like, obviously, most people call
Use
them
the term,
dreadlocks now. Yeah. Because like, if some people say dreads, I say dreads because it's just easier. It's easier to say that. But like, yeah, like I definitely understand and agree that, you know, like hair, like literally black hair of any sorts, like it's all very, very powerful. But also considering that you were saying earlier that you've recently started to draw from more from your standpoint, do you emulate a style for your kind of artwork?
I think one is starting to emerge a little bit. Um, it's slightly more surreal because again, I was kind of trained with traditional portraiture, so very realistic proportions and features and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, even as I'm trying to do the surreal look, I'm like, this is starting to look a bit realistic. Like, this is not surreal anymore. But like, I don't know. I just feel like I've started to exaggerate the limbs. I think that's been something that's been done for a long time within
Mm,
African art anyway.
mm.
But for me, I don't know. I just really like that style. I like elongating the neck because I feel like the neck is very beautiful. It's almost like you're taking a journey up the neck, and then you see the beautiful face, the hair as well, doing something quite dramatic. I do have some photos if you want to see some of them.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. But
I can
all,
potentially send. Yeah.
also it's interesting because like, I know obviously, you know, centuries ago, or maybe even more recently, like people in Africa, they used to put those rings around their neck
Yeah, yeah,
just to make it longer. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand the value of doing that, but it's something they did, isn't it? Like, so
yeah.
it is definitely.
But that's the thing. It's like it's beauty standards, and I think that's where like um the hair thing has a lot. There's a lot to say about black people's hair because of the beauty standards. Obviously, we're tailoring or we're trying to, or again, I've got to be careful, I guess, if I don't want to get cancelled or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, we are trying to like adhere more towards European beauty standards. Our hair isn't naturally straight.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing I do like about black people's hair and the versatility of it
Mm,
is the
mm,
fact that we can go from one look on Monday, another look on Wednesday, and a whole completely different look on
mm.
Friday. I love that. I love it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when I go into work, I'm in a very white office. I change my hair all the time. All the
Yeah.
time.
I would do that.
Just just so they know,
Just
like,
to
you
make
know what?
just to make them uncomfortable. That's what I would do it. Obviously we could have different end
Yeah,
goals, but we both do the same thing.
I mean, I'm not doing it to make them uncomfortable. I don't really care what they think ultimately, but I'm doing it just to show that like our hair is versatile. Like, we can do this. This is something that is possible for us to achieve. Whether it's the braids one day, whether it's like a curly hair, big curly hair, voluminous hair another day, whether it's like a slick back bun the next, like whatever it is,
Mm.
I can do that with my hair
Mm.
because I've got the resources and the means to do that, you know. And you could say that that has been as a result with trying to chase all these different beauty standards that we've got that versatility now. Um, and I think that's also something that's very important to recognize and also to embrace. However, again, I'm not, me personally, on a personal level, I'm not trying to chase European beauty standards in that way. I don't care about having straight hair. I might once in the future straighten my hair just to see what it looks like. Oh, I might like it, might be like, yuck, no, I want my curls back or whatever. I don't know. But all I do know is that I feel like hair is a personal journey
Mm.
for
Mm.
every single person, but every single black person, I would say.
Yeah.
And I do think it is just again something that's part of us, our identity, and that's why I touch on identity. I think that's a very important part of who we are on this earth. And I do find it also interesting. It's like when we die, our bodies die with it. So what happens next? Like, okay, I'm
Mm.
getting a bit too deep and spiritual here, but
That's
like,
fine.
but do you know what I mean? Our bodies like they rot into the earth, and then
Mm.
just
But
so
also,
sometimes it's like, yeah.
it's interesting when you're the way you're saying how, you know, like the whole, because I do agree, like, you know, our hair is not naturally straight at all, but most of the wigs I see black women wear, there will be straight hair, which is very interesting because obviously now I know, like, basically now I know what I'm looking for when I'm looking at wigs. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. Like, no,
Mm,
like okay, I'm sure you could definitely do your you could definitely straighten your hair because you've definitely got enough hair to do it. But like it just does, like, to me it looks a little bit out of place when I can clearly tell it's a wig, and it's, yeah, the hair may be black, but like it's white inspired hair. But obviously
mm,
I'm not, I would never insult anyone for making that decision. It's just something
mm,
I wouldn't ever do, really. Like, even
yeah.
even back in the 50s when like when like black men black people, they'd have to like slick their hair back to look white, like horrible.
Yeah, they do like they. I think black men will relax their hair. They'll do the Jerry curl thing, which will like make smaller curls in their hair.
Yeah, that
And
was.
like, do you know what it is? I feel like I've also done a lot of research, like with black people, or different types of black people across the world. I think there was this video that I saw, and I thought it was honestly so beautiful and so empowering. It was in, I think, Brazil, I want to say. Black people in Brazil, all of these were students at school. All of them like had their natural hair out, afro, no matter how
Mm.
big, no matter how small, the boys, the girls, all of them, they had their hair out.
It's
And
really
they're
hot
just
out there, though,
like,
isn't it?
I mean, it's hot, but like if you have a loads, I've got thick afro hair. Like I'm gonna be hot with all that hair out anyway. But what I'm saying is like they will just embrace, this is how they look.
Mm.
It's just how they, it grows out of their head. And I find it interesting, like when you look at more, well, I guess countries that people, well, actually, I can't even say, because even in Nigeria, you've got it in certain places where, like, if you don't have a bust down wig up to your kneecaps, then, bro, what are you doing? Do you
Is
even
it?
know, like, do you even know the trends right now? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Um, so I feel like it depends. It honestly depends on things, and so, and it can be the same with eyelashes on a different level. Like people wanting to make their eyelashes look longer, fine.
You've just touched on something that I've always wanted to know why, right?
Mhm.
Why do people care about their eyelashes? I'm so confused. Like,
I think because it can draw more attention to the eyes, it can create like a shape if you've got a bit more of a cat eye look and things like that. Again, there's Asian people's eyes. I'm not okay. That's a big statement. Of
this
course,
is a risky play.
we got to.
This is a
Right,
risky
but
play for me,
that's all
Adaugo.
right. Okay, wait. Yeah, you got to be careful with what you post
Yeah,
with
yeah.
it. Like,
I
hold
might have
on,
to cut.
engineer.
I might have to cut this part.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, there are, again, with beauty standards and also in the modeling industry and stuff, I feel like the modeling industry can actually influence beauty standards. So, with the almond shaped eyes, there we go. Almond shaped eyes. and the cat eye look. That's more of a trend. Why are you laughing? I'm literally trying to have a
I'm not
normal
laughing. I'm
conversation
not
here.
laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. Sorry,
Almond
I'm
shaped
paying
eyes,
attention.
cat eye look is a trend. You go to your lash tech and you're like, I want Russian. I don't even know. You've got Russian volumes. I don't even. Me, I
Russian
can't like
volumes.
this type of eyelash thing that you can get. I can't. I'm not really. I used to do it because again, I'm like, oh, I have to try it at least once, and then I'm just like, oh, actually, I realized it's probably not for me. I feel like I like more of a natural look personally,
Mm.
but each to their own. There's one eyelash though that I can't stand. It's one where it looks like you got wings. You want to fly out of this world. Like what is going on? When they look thick, they look harsh. No one's eyelash grows like that. What are you doing?
Yeah. Like the thing is, obviously, I know that I've been told by many people over many years that I've got very, very nice eyelashes. I don't care
Mm.
about them. It was obviously like it's a tool to me, and the only purpose of them is to stop dust from getting into my eyes, right?
Yeah,
So as
yeah,
far as that's concerned, they're doing their job. But
yeah.
like, I've never looked at someone and thought, oh, look at your eyelashes. I've never looked at them like, oh, those eyelashes. They're really. Oh, that's. Like, I've looked at people's eyes, their hair, basically everything else except the eyelashes. But
That's the
it's
thing. It's weird. Like some things people care about, like their nose, like this bit of their nose. They care about how wide their nostrils are. They care about how high their cheekbones are. So they get cheek filler. They get filler in their forehead.
cheek.
They get
Well,
filler in every
pause. Shh, shh. Wait, you're saying that people get stuff put into their foreheads for
in
what?
their forehead
For what?
because they want less wrinkles. They want to look younger. I'm like,
Okay,
what is
okay,
this?
okay.
And I can't lie. There's some men that do that. There's some
Yeah,
men
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. Do you know what? I've seen online. So a lot of men are online with fake beards. A lot of them. Like obviously, it's actually kind of standard now for like balding guys to have the spray on the hair, which I think is
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
That is hilarious, right? If you're going bald, just go bald, bro. No one really cares, especially if you're black,
yeah.
right? Because if you're black and you're going bald, it will look fine, right? But like, it's the beards that I've seen it done, man, and I like that is really, really sad to me.
Mm.
Like, like,
But that's what I'm saying. It's the beauty standards. It's like
yeah,
if a woman say like, "Oh, I like a thick beard on a man," the man's
that
like,
is
"Oh, I don't
true.
know. I've got a few whiskers here." They're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm starting to feel insecure." Like, "Oh my God!" And then that's how it all builds up, and that's where you're getting the forehead filler, the eyelashes that look
Forehead
like
filler,
birds'
man.
wings. You're getting everything. Like even me, I've got my nails done. I can't sit and say I'm not privy to like sorry, not privy. I'm not what's it called affected by beauty standards. I'm getting my nails done, getting my toes done. I'm getting like people get their
Yeah,
body hair
I do
waxed and
hear you.
everything, and all I feel like I was having this conversation with my mum because I was like, oh my God, this is an abomination. These things, like I was pushing it that far. She was just like, I hear what you're saying, but she was also just like, but think about it. Why'd you get your toes done? What are you
Mm.
getting? Your toes don't naturally grow like that. They don't look like that. Your toes can be looking crusty under that. But what are you doing? You're trying to beautify your toes. You're trying to like,
Yeah,
for
I do hear
example, a
you.
lot of women get hair. Well, a lot of women are actually very hairy. A lot of
Mm.
women are, but they're getting laser. But it's natural. I get hair on my arms. I'm there shaving I'm like, I've got wedding photos tomorrow. I'm gonna shave my arms. Why am I doing that? Like, because there's obviously some people that embrace the natural look fully. Personally, I don't think I could be that person. I
Yeah.
I need to tame it and tone things down, right? But I've still fallen into that,
Mm.
beauty standard thing. But I guess it's just how far it goes. And to some people, you could say relaxing our hair. Again, I understand the connotations and what black people have gone through. But even relaxing my hair growing up, I think up until I was like maybe 14, my hair was getting relaxed. And when I was like, why is it not growing past this length? It's just this length. The ends are breaking. I've getting burns on my foot, on my head, on my scalp, because relax is the chemical. Like you're literally killing the natural curl of
What? Wait.
your
What?
hair.
What is this device
You
you're
don't know what
speaking about?
relaxers are?
What
What's
is
a
it?
device?
I
Device?
don't know what it is. You just said relaxer. Like,
Do you
what is
not have
it?
sisters?
Yes, of course I've got sisters. What are you talking about?
And well, maybe your parents didn't relax their hair, but relaxers essentially is a chemical cream thing. And to be fair, when I had short hair, I think you see it on my story. I had a pixie cut, so I had short hair. I was relaxing my hair again, and I'll be chatting about relaxing, and it is bad. And don't get me wrong, I went back because I cut my hair off in it. Like it's for the looks, it's for the looks. But no. But for real though, the relaxers are bad. They can be linked to what's it called? uh Reproductive problems as well. Is
What,
it
from your
endocrine?
hair?
Yeah, because of the chemicals. It's not
Hold on,
good.
hold on. What does this chemical do? I'm so confused. Why do people put it in their
So
hair?
right, your hair, I'm gonna assume it's afro type hair, so maybe type 4 hair, 4A, 4B,
Well
4C,
done.
something
Good
like that,
luck.
right?
Lucky guess. Yes, I do
Yeah,
have afro hair. Lucky guess.
yeah, cool. But basically it's a chemical straightener. So you put it in your hair, you comb it through, you leave it to sit whilst it's chemically straight, getting rid of the curls in your hair. It is bunning up your scalp, burning it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you wash it out. As you're washing it out, and people are trying to, you're like, bruv, you're scratching the burn on my scalp. And as you can imagine, it's not good, is it? It's not
Yeah,
good.
that sounds horrible.
Mm-mm.
Like I remember, like I know some people who get their hair dyed fairly regularly, and they
Mm.
say that like they're essentially like they're killing their hair every time they
Yeah,
go
yeah,
and get it
yeah.
bleached, and it's hurting their scalp as well. I'm
That
so
that
confused.
pain is nothing. Relaxapane is different. I'm not joking. Relaxapane is different. The relief you feel when you get that nutrifying shampoo, the fact that it's called neutralizing shampoo, the fact that it's called neutralizing shampoo, neutralizing. So it's another chemical that is working with the chemical in your head to stop the chemical process.
That's long, man. Honestly, like the like the lengths that people will go on to look better. It's I guess that's been a thing that as long as we've been around. But like
For
honestly
sure.
I've never heard of this evil chemical before.
This is a big thing in the black community. I can't
Is it?
yeah. Obviously, some people don't use it as much now because they know about the very, very serious
Yeah.
problems with it. But and even to be fair, I think some Asian people actually use it as well. They perm their hair. It's a perm essentially. Like
It's
straights their
interesting
hair.
because like I've never seen my mum with straight hair. I've seen my sister with straight hair, but that was a wig. So
Mm.
like maybe my family just never really ramped
Fair,
with that.
fair.
Oh my goodness, that actually makes a lot of sense because I've got an uncle on my dad's side who was bleaching his bleaching his skin. He was bleaching his skin back in the
That's
day.
another big thing as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
the
the thing is,
knuckles be looking dark. So you know when
oh,
you're
exactly. You
bleaching.
can't you can't get it all, man. But do you know what? It was especially it was really really bad because like I was like 4 when I realized that you started to bleach your skin, and I was 4 years old, right? How bad must it be for a 4 year old to be able to see like you're lighter today than you were last week when I saw you last, and like obviously, you know, obviously I didn't hot him up because I was 4, but like my
Mm.
my other family was like, oh, what is happening? Like you're getting lighter, and he was like,
Yeah.
oh, the sun's not around, all of these things, bro. What are you talking about? Like, yeah, I understand when the sun's not around. Yeah, I will get a little bit lighter, but I won't. I won't look.
I won't lose
I,
my melanin
yeah, exactly.
at
Like
that
that.
level.
Yeah, like, and obviously the concept of bleaching your skin, that is like, to me that's a form of like self-hate. Like it may not have derived from it being self-hate. It may have derived from, as you were saying earlier, the European beauty standards of, oh, you got to
Mm.
be lighter, you got to be this, you got to be that. But like, to actually believe it to that extent, I do believe that there's got to be an element that hates being black,
Yeah,
really.
but that's the thing. You can use that argument with any other thing that like black people do to change their natural look so extremely, so per permanently. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You can say that with the relaxers. You can say it with, um, just not embracing the fact that you're black. You are black. That, like, I'm sorry. not even I'm sorry. You
Yeah,
are
don't
black.
apologize.
Like
Don't never
you
apologize for
just
being black.
are. Like this is who you are. Like sometimes I think about it. You know, like obviously no one just other than our parents creating us, I guess. But we didn't decide like how are we gonna who we're gonna come to this world as. We didn't decide that. We just came into this world and we happened to be who we happen to be. And sometimes I think like, okay, cool, I'm black. Like sometimes I'm sat there thinking like, but what if I came in as a completely different ethnicity? Or if I
Yeah, yeah,
came in
yeah.
from and I was a different religion?
I
Or if
wonder
I
that a
came in,
lot.
I was I think about that. How would I live my life? Would it
Mm.
be different? Would I be this aware? And sometimes I feel like I'm probably mo most aware about, I guess the experience of being a black person because I am a black person.
Yeah, massively. Like I definitely agree because I would say like because it's actually impossible to imagine what you'd be like if you weren't black because you are black and everything that you've known
Exactly.
is surrounded about
It's
being black.
exactly,
Like I might
exactly.
be
But
racist if I was white. I don't know. I don't know.
but
I can't tell.
that's the thing, and that's why like even sometimes when you might have conversations with other people and they're like, "Oh, I never thought about it in that way." And you're like, "Damn, how can you not think about it in that way?
Mm.
Because this is my lived experience." But then I think about it the reverse as well. Like, you know, I don't think I could fully understand a white person's perspective because sometimes it does seem like they're just cruising through life. Some of them, it just seems like they're just like, bruh, like I'm here. I'm just
Yeah,
coasting
yeah,
through,
yeah.
like,
Literally, they've
you
they've
know,
got they've got like no problems, no worries. No one's trying to stop them from doing anything that they can do. Like it's
like.
fine.
Do you know what I mean? And that's probably what I'm not obviously trying to justify or anything at all like that, but I'm saying like that's how I can sometimes understand when, or not understand, I can, for lack of a better word, I guess it's understand why they
Mm,
can't fully fathom a
mm,
black person's experience because again, I can't even fully fathom somebody else's experience to that level because again, everything that I understand is filtered through my lens of my lived experience, if that makes sense. Which
mm.
again, I like, or I'm intrigued by the psychology of that as well. And yeah.
Also think it's something very interesting and very important to remember is like Emmett Till, right? Obviously,
Mm,
we all know what happened with Emmett Till and all of these things. But
mm,
before that, like white people didn't really believe that the police and all of these and like a lot of white America did not believe that black people were being targeted because they wouldn't see it. Like it
mm,
and I do understand it because and until you see the face of that 14-year-old boy beaten and bloodied across all platforms, across all news, all magazines, it took that for white people to realize, oh my goodness, maybe
that's
the police
bad.
are racist. Oh my good,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
maybe we have to change because like
Mm,
the thing is I understand like that's also why I understand why it's so easy to just trick Middle England into thinking that immigrants are the problem because they haven't met any of them. Like
mm,
and like that's why I can't really judge people who haven't really interacted with black people. I can't be mad when they don't understand what it means. Like I
yeah,
can't. Like
yeah.
if anything that
It's
that
like,
makes a lot of sense.
yeah, like I think sometimes when I try to take a step back, because I feel like also when you're in it and you're just like, bro, like this is tough, like things that we're experiencing. I feel like when I take a slight step back and I actually deep it, like this whole thing, sometimes I just feel like it's beyond us. Like as people in general, it's so complex. The psychology of it, the experience, like no matter how hard we try to not be like biased, like we can't like
Yeah,
stop it.
bias
We
is in
actually
everyone.
can't. It's in
Bias is in
everyone.
everyone, man. Like it's
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's also just also I think interesting to have like these conversations where like where you're aware of it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mm,
aware of like how this world is run. Maybe there's things that we might be able to solve. Maybe there's things that we might not be able to solve. But
mm.
it's a thing of like at least we're able to have like conversations where um I don't know, it's just a bit more. slightly more holistic and kind of looking at things from a slightly different perspective. Because again, when you're in it, you can get lost with
Mm.
like a lot of the things that are happening. Like, and it's just like, and then sometimes when you look at it from a deeper perspective, like, is this all done intentionally? You know,
Yeah, yeah, but
to make you think, oh, sorry, to almost like the whole divide and conquer thing, like
mm,
to make you hate from a distance without even trying to understand. Is that done intentionally? And
mm,
I'm not gonna lie, not even, I don't think it is it done intentionally. I know it is. It definitely is, 100%. And I feel like and when you like, you realize like almost you're a pawn because think about it, how many people are in this world? We are literally pawns in a little chess game. They don't
mm,
mind if they knock one of us over. Done, we're gone. Oh, we're out the game. Ah, oh well. Little
yeah.
sacrifice for the final end goal. And I think like, it's just it is interesting. Generally, it's
But do you know
interesting. Yeah.
what? It's interesting because I would say that my dad came to this country, what, 1964, right?
Mhm.
No, 60, 63, something like that. But like things have improved so much for black people in this country from when my dad
Mhm.
came to here to now. Like, obviously now we've got the internet, all of these things. So factually speaking, a lot of the jobs that exist now would not have been able to exist then. But
Yeah.
just like what it within 60 years or so, right? My dad's able to have me as a son, and like I can grow and get an undergrad and a postgrad, and I can run my own company in relative
Mhm.
peace.
Yeah.
Like, that is class. Like,
Mhm.
when my dad
Mhm.
came to this country, he was getting chased by racists with Alsatians and like attack dogs. Like, that
Mm.
that doesn't happen now. Like, so I I see it as I I see it like mostly because of slavery. Black people have got way better like willpower to stick at something, right?
Mm.
So when you combine that with the fact that factually speaking, it's easier to be black now than it was when my dad was around here. We're gonna take over. We're gonna take over. Like, the only question is, will that happen before the rebellion that happens in this country? I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
I can't tell. But
I think, do you know what it is? I think the future is bright for Black people. I think
mm,
I do, unfortunately. Well, oh God, I don't know how to say this. There's like two things. Like, obviously, this is the thing. Obviously, I feel like it's interesting with Black people. We do generalize ourselves as well. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the same way that like white people are like, oh, the blacks, this, the Negroes and all that sort of stuff. They've generalized us. I feel like as well we also generalize ourselves and we're like, oh, we're all black and all of this. But I do think there are almost like categories of black people, if that makes sense. And I think it's like I'm being quite careful to say this. Like, I think there's some people that are aware of like, of the injustices, that are aware of like how we are being used as pawns a lot of the time.
mm,
But I do
mm.
think there are black people that don't realize that they're being used as pawns. And it's a thing where like I think that's where again we've got to be, I mean, hopefully internally with amongst ourselves as black people, like we can educate ourselves like a little bit because this might sound a bit controversial, but I'm actually curious to know what your opinion is on this. Like, black people in music, I'm not gonna lie, we've been elite at it
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah, yeah.
We've been
Everyone knows
amazing.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
we've been amazing. And again with sport as well, we've been amazing, we've been amazing. And feel like again, this is all a perspective. I look at it and like, wow, look at us thrive in football.
Yeah,
Arsenal,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. With
obviously I have to
Arsenal,
mention
what
Arsenal.
do you mean?
I had to throw that one in there.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Listen, I understand what you're saying on the football thing because like we're like 5% of the whole population, but we're like more than a third of all footballers in the top league. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's proof, isn't it? Like,
Yeah. Like we're good at that, but then also sometimes it makes me think like, do are we not to other ethnicities, are we only seen as like these are the places that we are what we're good at?
the thing
Basically
is,
entertainment and sport.
I would say like, I would say definitely back in the day that was massive because like if you saw a black person in a white bank, you'd think, oh, he's probably a footballer or a rapper or something
Mm,
like that, because
mm,
like that was the preloaded connotations that white people had to link with black people. And like, but I would say like now obviously because times are changing and all of these things, I feel like that happens less. However, ultimately, to me, like let's look at like footballers or music or whatever, right? Okay, so let's look at music, right? Black people have invented every single genre that anyone listens to in the West. Every single genre has been
mm,
created by black people, right?
mm.
But like, who's really making the money? Who's really making the money at the
No,
top?
it's not. Yeah, that's the thing. It's
Because
not
that's
just
because
black people.
that's where that's where all the power actually is. Like I thing is as well. Like I don't know about you with your primary school, but when I was in year 3 to year 5, I learned critical thinking.
Mm,
But when I got into year 6, the school I was at, they stopped teaching anyone critical thinking. That was probably like the most important lesson I've ever had, because it's because of that why I know when I'm being used as a pawn and stuff. Like,
mm,
I've walked away from clients who were gonna give me loads of money, but like I had to step away from them because I was like I saw their holistic, or not holistic, like their aims were not holistic. Like they were
mm.
in reality they would have put people out of jobs, and like it would have it wouldn't have helped in the long term. That's a
Yeah,
level of critical thinking that I'm able to attach. Like, it's
yeah.
that whole remove yourself from the situation to analyze what's actually happening. So
Mhm.
I would say, like, obviously, thankfully, I'm lucky enough to the point where I can run a business in relative peace. Like, the only way how we get to the point where we got more people like with that mindset
Mhm.
is if we teach critical thinking to all black
Mm,
people. But the
yeah,
only problem with that is that, like, you can't really teach a whole generation critical thinking and then tell them all to work for someone, because it's not gonna
yeah,
work. It's
yeah.
just not gonna
True.
work, man. Like, you can't, like, it's just I'm sorry, it's just not gonna work. Like, especially now when you've got to like really enjoy what you're doing, like what you were saying earlier with your
Mm,
architecture, you've got to fucking love it to stay at it.
yeah.
Otherwise
But
it's not worth it.
This is the thing though. Like, I feel like I, I'm obviously working for someone. I mean, everyone's got to work for someone at school. Most people have to at some point in their lives. But just because you are working for someone for the first 5 years of your career doesn't mean for the next 45 years of your career, you're not
Mm.
doing what you want to do. And I think that's why, like, for example, people ask me, why did you do your architecture thing so quickly? I know some people that wait 10 years, then they do their part three, which is the final bit. And I was just like, why am I waiting? Let me get it done now. Start making moves, whether I need to stay for another year, two, whether I need to go somewhere else, whatever it might be, right? Um, so 1 second, someone's at the door. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, so sorry about that. The
You're talking about architecture, and
Yes,
people were
yes,
asking
yes,
like
yes.
how you did it so quickly.
And I'm not gonna lie, like some of the people that I've seen within architecture, they're thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stick with this for 20 years, 30 years. Like, stick with this for 20, 30 years, yeah. Respectfully, you're not gonna be making that much. Work-life balance is not there.
Mm.
Like, what are you really doing? Like, it's just giving you fulfillment like that. My thing is, I'm very like if it's not giving me fulfillment, I will speak up about it. You'll see it. I'm just like, no, no, no. I need to move. I need to do something else. And I'm quite vocal about it. Maybe sometimes to my detriment as well. But like, I just like I need to do something that gives me fulfillment. I need to do something that I feel like, is adding to this world in some way that I can actually genuinely sit here and say that I'm proud of. Like,
Mm.
rather than just I'm just doing it because well, yeah. Like, and don't get me wrong, your 20s, I feel like those are foundation years. I think it's fine to be humble in your 20s, like whether you are working for someone, it's a bit temporary, you're going to move into this, and then
Mm.
this is what my next stage is, and blah, 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 blah. And this is how you're, strategically organizing your life. So now it's your 30s, this is where you're taking those risks. We can take the risks in your 20s, to be fair,
Yeah,
but I
if
also
anything,
do feel
I
like,
would say it probably makes more sense to take risks in your 20s because like you're younger.
yeah, yeah, I do think that is good. I think taking risks, but also being aware that you're trying to learn, like you're still learning. So, but more about life rather than, oh, how do you differentiate this equation and all that rubbish. Learning about life,
Yeah,
learning about, okay, this is, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I am not me working for someone for 20, 30, 40 years.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Me doing that and then I'm not even fulfilled. Never.
It's amazing
Sorry,
though
no.
because in our parents' generation that was expected. Like the
Mm.
whole thing was, yeah, you find your job early and then you stick at it
And
for
they
the rest
stick
of
it.
your life.
And
Fuck
I'm
that.
like, no, like, I'm sorry. I can do this for a short period of time and,
Mm.
learn the skills that I need to learn, but it's like a cycle. I need to go. Because think about it, the person that now owns the company I'm working for. Do you think he's stuck at a job for 40 years and that's how he got there? Not
Yeah, yeah,
necessarily.
yeah.
He probably took leaps and,
Mm.
took risks and he moved around probably and, or she, sorry. But you know what I mean? Like they probably moved around,
Mm.
figured out what worked for them and knew that this is not my ceiling here.
I
My ceiling is somewhere else and I'm gonna hit that ceiling.
I definitely hear where you're coming from because obviously like I run my own business, but this is not the end goal. Like why would I don't like obviously I do really love doing digital marketing. It's a very very wide
Mm.
term and it is a lot of fun. But like no, like no, like honestly. My thing is currently I'm trying to get my business to an extent where I don't have to work at all. Like
I love that. Yeah.
that's the thing because obviously like similarly to you I have dreams in it and like like my dream is not actually my dreams have actually very little to do with my company, very very little. Like
Mm.
obviously I would probably say the thing I'm the best at is sound in all forms. So like
Yeah.
I would much prefer spend days mixing music than working on client stuff for a brief or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So like thing is have it like knowing what my end goal is up here and because it is kind of wild that I'm treating my own company like it's temporary. Like I don't like it
But
doesn't
that is
mean
fair
anything to
enough.
me. Like
That's fair enough.
yeah, like
I
because
feel like,
you're saying
sorry, sorry. I was gonna say, I feel like when you've got that spark within you, you know exactly where you want to go. Like
mm,
that drive and ambition will come naturally. I don't think you can even comfortably sit still if you know what that goal is. If you genuinely have that dream, I'm
literally.
not gonna lie. 20, 30, 40 years. Someone said to me that was my future. I'm like, you're lying, and it will not
Nah,
be. Sorry,
nah, man. Like,
nope.
do you know what? Because like earlier this year, I've started working with this developer from Indonesia.
Mm.
He's class.
Hmm.
Honestly, he's class. Yeah, he's also saved my life because now I don't have to do all the hard work in it. So like,
Yeah,
literally, the second I realized I had more free time, I was like, okay, cool. And now I've got more free time. I can speak to more people. I can grow.
yeah.
So I started this show and that. Like, shout out to the developer because he's doing this shit right now. Like,
Mm.
like but thing is, like that. The fact that I'm able to run my business is actually thanks to capitalism, though. So like, it is like it's a yin and a yang because like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this is a developer who's got like triple the experience than I do in like specifically on developing. Yeah, while I was like working on a very, very wide amount of information, wide amount of stuff. Like he focuses on just development, right? And because of obviously exchange rates, like I'm paying this guy like £9 an hour, and like he's balling out. He's balling out in Indonesia, yeah. So he's happy. I'm happy. Everything's going well, yeah. But like that is also because of capitalism. Like if it wasn't for capitalism, I probably would not have been able to have connected with the developer. However, I'm not a massive fan of capitalism, but I am just like kind of like, yeah, I'll take all those benefits, yeah. But that's because like I found recently, like with capitalism, you don't have to go all the way. You don't have to become a complete and utter asshole to make money to live in the West. Like it's more about what you do with it. But like yeah, like I don't know how long I'm gonna actually work on my business for, because like although I enjoy working for my clients, I feel a lot better when I'm working just on creative stuff, which links back to what you were saying earlier. Like you were saying, you know, you haven't really been creating that many pieces, all of these things for X amount of time. And like I find that there's a massive correlation between depression and a lack of creativity in the West, because like I was interviewing this artist from Nigeria, and one of the things he said, which was really funny, was like when he first came to this country, he was like, there's too many opportunities in England. He was genuinely just like, yeah, there's way too many opportunities. Like there's so many opportunities to the point that it's making people unhappy. And like although you know I was kind of resisting to the whole thing when he was like, oh, there's too many opportunities. When he explained his lifestyle, his lived experience, compared to that, like everything's so easy out here. Like, but I feel like people are struggling because they're not spending time on creativity. They're just spending time working and just panicking about stuff. But
and that's why I feel like you have to create that balance. You really have to, even if it's like a temporary sacrifice. You need to always be, I feel like, disciplined enough to come back to that creativity, or once I come back to it, even just make time for it at times, because you know I feel like I can't, like, for the past 6 months I've been stressed, but I still found time to do a little bit of art. Obviously I didn't finish the piece and I had to put it on pause for a couple of months, but I was like, no, I'm not going to kill my creativity for something. This is a stepping stone. And I feel like it's that discipline, but also I think some people either have that fire in their belly or they don't. And me, I've got that fire in my belly. Like, I just know, if I, as I said before, if I don't like doing something, I'm not gonna sit. I can't just be like, 10 years of my life, it's okay, you can have them, it's mine. Never. That is just not me. Like, no. Basically.
Have you, obviously, because I'm sure I'm still subscribed and following your account on for your art. Have you recorded any like time lapses of your creations and done any voiceover over it?
Yeah, like I've done a few time lapses. I used to do them more before. I think sometimes I'm a bit too lazy to put the camera up. I know it's so bad, but and sometimes I'm like, I want to use my phone in the middle of like painting, like on a break and stuff like that. So I think I need to get a proper like camera set up or something that can just record it for me.
Honestly, Adaugo, it's so unnecessary. Like the quality in cameras for like just a regular smartphone now is so good. It's so like the only thing you might need to buy is a tripod, just to hold it, just to hold it there. Like really, like it's funny because like while I do understand, like I've been speaking with loads of like artists and designers and musicians and all of these things. Most of the reason why they don't really post on social media is because they don't feel motivated to post on social media, which I can totally understand. Like social media it's like a new currency that just existed like in the last 20 years.
Hmm.
But like, there's so many ways for them to put it out without having to try at all. Like,
Hmm.
like, and
No,
it's
it's true.
yeah, and
It's true.
you know, in your case, obviously you do very, as I was saying earlier, you do class works, and like I want everyone to be seen more. Anyone who's good at something, I want them to be seen more. Like, I guess that's also that's part of the reason why I started running this show. But like, there's so many ways that like you could just post stuff. Like,
Yeah, and that's the
you can
thing. I
post
think
it
that's
organically.
yeah, and I think that's what like I'm trying to be a bit more consistent with. We're trying. But again, like also I do my art. Like I don't have a proper art studio. I feel like if I had a proper art studio, proper setup, I just feel like I'll treat it more um seriously. It's like going to the gym. Like,
Yeah, I hear
do you know what I
you.
mean?
When you
I
when
would
you
feel like
physically go somewhere, you're like, okay, I've got to make the most of this.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And you're paying for it as well. Like
yeah,
you gotta make the
yeah.
most of it. So like with the art thing, because sometimes it's like I'm finding pockets of time and then like responsibilities, still living at home and things like that. It's just like, oh my
Mm.
God. But I think at the end of the day, if you really want something, you will make time for it, and that's what I'm obviously trying to do. And now that I've literally finished my exams and passed and everything, what, last week,
Well, you passed
I think it
last
was?
week.
Yeah, literally last week. Thank you.
Congrats. I
Thank,
wait, hold up. Wait, that was like 8 years, seven
yeah,
or eight
oh,
years.
6.5, 6.5 actually.
Six?
Six and a half.
No, it can't be 6.5 because I
Six
was
and a
in
half.
uni for like 5.5 years, and I did like I graduated years ago. Like, you must be into year 7.
No, we graduated. Well, I graduated
Wait,
in 2022. Yeah, 2022. And then 2023, 2024. Sorry, right. 2019, 2020, 20. No, graduated in 2021. Wait,
yeah.
what?
Why do you start from 2021? Wouldn't that have been third year by that point?
Wait, hold on. You're confusing me. 2019 to 2020 is first year. 2020, 2021, second year. 2021, 2022, third year, right? Cool, yeah. So 2022, I graduated. And then 1 year placement.
Right. Okay.
And then I went back to do my master's, which were 2 years.
Right.
After that, I literally did my part 3 straight away in 6 months. So 6.5 years.
Right. Okay. Now you add that year of like of doing placement. That now the maths holds up. But honestly, like it's very interesting when you're saying earlier, like, because when I was a kid, I used to love like designing cars. Like, I really
Mm.
loved it, and like I I really wanted to do like full on car design, until I realized that like most designers, right, if they're somehow lucky enough that they get picked by a reputable car company or whatever, for
Hmm.
the first 5 years you'll be like designing a seat buckle, or like one of the hinges on the mirrors that are up there. You're spending years like designing that. I'd have to kill myself. And I'd be
The
like,
thing
bro, this
is,
is not what I signed up for. But
do
yeah,
you know
I
what it
guess.
is? Like, there is beauty in the details, and you actually
Mm.
have to start somewhere. I think the first thing I started designing when I got there were the toilets of the building.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. How
Toilets,
long? How long?
yeah.
How long has it taken you to get to this level now? Because obviously you're fully qualified in that.
No, I mean, do you know what it is? Qualification also, and your, I guess, design skill set ability within the practice are two completely different things. So some people that are thrown into the deep end within the first month of them graduating undergrad, and obviously your placement, what you do in placement and what you do at uni are two completely different things. Uni is just like think outside of the box, learn how to think differently. Da, 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 da. And then you get into practice and you're trying to do all of that stuff. They're like, we have a way of doing things,
Yeah.
conform to the way that we want to do things professionally, and then maybe we have a little bit of space for your creativity, but really and truly, there's an order to how we do things here.
Mm.
So you have to quickly adapt and realize that in reality, like I think sometimes, for example, when you say car design, I might initially be like, oh, you're probably thinking about the shape of the car and the color, and then maybe there's this nice design thing here, and and then when you deep it, it's like that's a part of it. That's the aesthetics of it. But actually, the functionality, the little gears that make things move inside, and as you said, the
Mm.
hinge of the like when you deep it, it's like it's some of it is not as glamorous as you think
Yeah,
it
yeah,
might
yeah.
be.
That's why I was like, fuck this. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, so I think it's the same, but then you can say the same thing with running a business. Like sometimes it's like, oh, look at all the money you get at the end of the month,
Hold up,
and
hold
you
up,
get
hold
to
up, hold up.
totally, yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, the reason I run my business has nothing to do with money. Like it's
No,
got
fair, fair. No,
nothing to do with that.
but what I'm saying is like from the outside looking in, or like the initial interpretation of like running a business. For example, you're doing a podcast, so we obviously see a lot of podcasts within the black culture right now on YouTube, Spotify,
Yeah,
all these different places. Cool. So imagine now, like you're just like 12. You see these people like, oh, it looks fun. They're just laughing and talking on the,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, having a conversation. It looks so simple. But actually, when you deep it to run a podcast, the amount of organization it takes, the editing,
yeah.
making sure. Imagine now you weren't recording this whole interview. I hope you recorded.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I've checked this many times.
Okay, cool. So
I've checked OBS like 14 times when we've been on
yeah,
this call.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of things that go into it, and then marketing it. Like, okay, cool, you have a sick podcast. No one's tuning in, no one's listening to it. What do you do then? Like, there's so much that you've like
So
got
much
to
graft. Yeah, yeah,
consider
yeah.
exactly when you're doing these things. And I think sometimes, you know, I think a lot of us as humans are just attracted to the shiny, glamorous thing that we
Mm.
see, like, oh yeah, yeah. And also when it's working, but then how are you going to make your one work?
Mm.
What are the gears of your system to make your thing successful?
I definitely understand and agree with where you're coming from, because obviously, like, it's everyone knows it's a lot easier to just sit down and watch something than it is to make it. And like it is incredibly time consuming, like scheduling interviews, interviewing them, like preparing my questions, and then like when all of that's done, I've then got to like take out some parts from each interview, because some people might be saying some wild stuff or something, but like, yeah, it does take a lot of time. That's why for me, success has nothing to do with numbers or money. Like, I'm running my business for autonomy. That's that, because that is the most important thing to me. And I know it's still a kind of a concept, because if I'm not working for a boss, I'm working for clients. However, I like having I like having more control over how I spend my day. That's
Yeah,
the first thing. And like, as for this whole show thing, like, obviously, because I've got more free time now, because I'm like, I've got my developer doing the difficult stuff. I can do all of the other things. Like, that's fine. So because of that, and like, I've probably met like 150 founders and creatives and stuff this year already. So like, literally, I know that I'm I'm currently creating a process that is repeatable. I mean, sure, I'll get better in time, but I will never have to stop. Like,
yeah, yeah,
and that's because that is definitely how you grow. Because I I do definitely hear you though, like, in the sense of, people are only attracted to the shiny things of life unless you love it. Because when you love it,
yeah,
it's fine, isn't it? Like,
yeah, yeah.
but it's very interesting, because like, I know if I worked for someone, I would have way more money, way more money. I probably wouldn't even, like, obviously I'm currently in process. I'm in process of moving out, but I,
Mm,
like, if I worked for someone else, I would have moved out years ago.
mm,
Like, but like, so I guess from that standpoint, I'm lucky in the sense that I can stay at home while I'm stacking up on all of these things. but like I don't think I'd have the I don't think I'd have the energy to be speaking with founders or do, like I just wouldn't have the energy to be the person I am,
Mm, yeah.
and life is too short to really give a shit about that.
Mm. No,
Really.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. That's the
Mm.
thing, like, and you got to do what works for you. Like, you know the type of person you are, and like the way that like you can get the most out of your life because it is your life at the end of the day. Like,
I would say that I personally am kind of an ideologue, like in the sense of like I will do something because I think it's right, not because it makes money or something like that.
mm,
Which is that's a very dangerous way to live your life in the West. Like it's very
I
very
get you.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Like you know, like Julian Assange, he was almost murdered, almost murdered. Edward Snowden, similar thing. I think he's still in exile in Russia as we speak for
Mm,
snitching on the FBI from like overstepping their mark with their private citizens and all of these things. But like obviously like you know I had a stroke and that when I was 13.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm living off borrowed time as it is. So like
Mm,
if tomorrow I die, doesn't matter. Like I got 12 years extra. Yes.
mm.
Like it's fine, isn't it? Like I feel like almost dying has made me like fearless. Like it doesn't matter, innit? Like
Like, I want to say I love that, but yeah, I'm not. Ugh.
yeah.
Hey, I'm happy that that is what has been taken from that. If that makes
I
sense,
mean, yeah,
because I'm not
that
gonna.
was one of the things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, because I do feel like it must give new perspective on life. Because
Mm.
I think again, some of us take it for granted, thinking that we're gonna live till we're 80, 90, that's fine, whatever. What's gonna happen in this time? And also, it's just that you actually never know tomorrow. You never
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So you don't want to live with regrets. You don't want to live with like feeling like you've been doing things pleasing, for example, pleasing other people as opposed to pleasing yourself. Like it is your life at the end of the day.
Thing is though, when you say that, I do agree, but
Mm,
I've always operated in the opposite way. Like for example, like me, I get way more pleasure making someone else smile than making myself smile and stuff like that. Obviously,
mm,
being in that environment for years does actually definitely get me. It results in me getting taken advantage of in many cases. But I'm not going to change that. I
mm,
like because for me to care about myself more than other people, then that really is me giving up on like community
yeah,
in my eyes, because like
mm,
everyone in the West is they all they care about is the individual themselves,
yeah, yeah,
and I think that's fucking disgusting.
mm,
In some cases, like obviously some cases for some people they probably do need to think about themselves more, but
mm-hmm,
most of the time it's actually like soul damaging. um but I don't know, I feel like I was I know to be I was gonna say I feel like I was born in the wrong part of the world, but if I wasn't born in this part of the world I wouldn't be able to run my business, I wouldn't be able to have this conversation
mm.
with you now.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I do feel you, and I can't like what you said is very valid, especially about um the thing about obviously the individual mindset that you were talking about. I think like again, like I feel like the way that I said it is quite like I feel like a lot of people say like, "It's your life, live your life." I mean, yeah, I think my intention with that comment was more saying that. Um, I think sometimes for me anyway, I feel like I've had a lot of duties and responsibilities of other people putting
Mm.
their needs first, but like I'm ultimately not happy. So it's a thing of like, yeah, I feel like do you know what? I can see it from both perspectives,
Mm.
essentially, is what I'm trying to say. And I think again, I do recognize that. I mean, it can be quite
Or maybe
morbid,
people
like
care about the wrong things, because maybe people are putting too much attention and focus on the job thing rather than the family and
Yeah,
stuff that's real.
yeah, exactly. And I think as you know, we're all growing to be like probably soon be like married with kids and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. I
Listen,
don't know, in the next five, 10 years.
by the time my parents were my age, they were married and had they already had David as well. Like mad thing, nah, bro. Like, yeah. Obviously,
Yeah,
socioeconomics has changed and all of these
it
things.
has, it
There's
has.
also like online dating now. Like things have
Mm,
changed, man. Things
yeah,
have
they
changed
have. They
drastically.
really have. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like things are probably gonna change over the next
Mm,
5 to 10 years for a lot of us, and I think that's where you can really pick what are your values that you want moving forward. It doesn't need to be values that have been, I guess, placed upon you up until this point,
mm.
if that kind of makes sense. And I think, it's that autonomy over your own life and the life that I guess you will now inspire, like moving
Mm.
forward, the lives that you inspire moving forward as well. So yeah, no, I think that's a very
The the thing is as
good.
well, like obviously I don't know what the future holds in it, but
Mm,
I've I've got a nephew, right? I think he's like 3 or 4 years old, and I was looking at that guy and I was thinking like your experience of school will be completely different to mine,
mm,
like because just comparing like when my parents when they were in school, they had like additional nonsense lessons like map orienteering. They had
mm.
they had a legitimate class every week where they just studied maps and atlases. Yeah, what a colossal waste of fucking time. Yeah, what a colossal waste of time. Now we move forward to like when I was in like primary school and that, I'll be doing some stuff in maths with a calculator. Yeah, the teacher's telling me, you've got to learn how to do all this maths by your mind, because you
Mm.
won't always have a calculator on you. Big man, what is this? You're lying, right? And like, obviously, a lot of the things that we were taught in school is actually just pointless information, right? It is
Mm.
essentially a glorified memory test that's done to mirror the working week from obviously J.D. Rockefeller. I think it was like 1903 or something like that when he invented the school system, which hasn't changed
Mm.
since then.
Mm.
Because obviously that process was designed to create workers and all of these things. But now we've got AI, which will do most of those mundane, pointless tasks. I was looking at this at my nephew. And I was thinking like, you can't be limited at all, because like all of the things that they would have had to have had like workers for, they don't need anymore. So
Mm.
like now, I'm really really interested to find and to see what he wants to do with his life, because there's nothing that's going to be able to stop him.
Yeah.
Like I think I think that AI, if anything, will massively change the education system that we've got in the UK, and that will possibly be the beginning of the end of capitalism. Because obviously, like capitalism revolves around there being way more workers in the society than supply,
Hmm.
but it's gonna be cheaper and cheaper to hire a computer to do the same shit over and over again. So now, I'm predicting that within the next 10, 15 years, it's going to be even more important for that generation to do something that they really want to do. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's not going to end well at all.
Yeah. We'll do something that a computer can't
There's
necessarily
nothing that a
do.
computer can't do. Honestly, I'm really sorry to tell you, like, like,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I mean, to be fair, it probably will obviously, AI is probably going to get better at resolving things for us. But I don't know, like blue collar, no, is it blue collar? There's white collar is the corporate one. Blue collar's what?
blue collar. That's like more like not mundane, but like I guess more
Like, is it,
physical work.
yeah, yeah. But that's what I'm saying, like, AI isn't doing that, is it?
AI definitely can do. To be fair, AI has had the ability to basically wipe out all factory workers for decades. The only reason that they haven't is because there are lobbies that are basically their whole thing is that they're looking after like human interests, because in
Yeah,
reality
but
it's cheaper to hire computers.
yeah, yeah, but what I mean is like, unless you're saying that, let's say I've got a plumbing issue, a call plumber, is an AI robot going to turn up at my door and fix my plumbing?
I
Is
mean,
that like,
that's definitely possible. Like you know, like there are AI surgeons.
oh my God, okay, I don't want to have no stop.
Like
I'm getting
honestly,
stressed out now.
listen, I'm just these are things
Because
that
what's the
exist
point of
now.
having a human now? There's no point.
That's right. Okay. The thing is, I remember watching some documentaries some time ago, and they were saying like how AI will never be able to fully replicate the human mind, because obviously that's how we get inspiration and all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
However, while it may not be able to get 100% there, it will definitely be good enough that 90% of the people won't have a clue. Like, I'll give you an
Mm-hmm.
example. There was there was an AI rapper the other day that was blowing up, right? No one knew it was AI. No one knew that any of it was AI at all until what actually happened was, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that an outlet, I think it was Navarra Media, I'm not sure, but an outlet reported that this rapper was purely AI, and then the people who run that record label, they ended up suing, which you wouldn't do if you're not like, you wouldn't. It's if I said you're AI, you'd be like, no, I'm not, bro. You just come outside and be like, I'm not AI, haha, try again. But
Yeah.
instead of that, they're like, no, you're getting sued and all of these things. But like, I couldn't tell it was AI, and I've been listening to sounds for as long as I can think, like as long as I can think, really. And like, so okay, AI, it definitely can take all the mundane work, and it might not be as inspirational as human thoughts and all of these things, but it's so good now. It's only gonna get better. Like,
Mm.
I want to see, like, I want to see a generation of pure thinkers, a
Mm.
generation of people where they like they're not limited by, oh, you've got to work 9 to 5. Some of my friends now are doing 8 to 6,
Mm.
mad thing. But like,
Crazy, yeah.
I don't know if it's how realistic this future is, but like, I can see it, and like, I think that's because humans were always designed to be doing something, but we
Mm.
weren't designed to be panicking and stressing about, oh, can we afford our utility bill
Yeah.
this month, because someone US and Israel are doing some terrorism in against
Mm.
Iran. Like,
Yeah.
it's mad.
Do you know what I find interesting? Is like the pigeons. Like, okay, I know I'm comparing humans to pigeons right now. You're probably thinking,
Okay.
where's this gotta go? But no, obviously, pigeons used to have a function in this world where it's like they'll send letters. They know
Mm.
they literally you tell it, send it to, or I guess tell it. I don't know. I
Carrier
don't know how it
pigeons and that.
actually works,
I've got
but
no
yeah,
idea how that worked either, but yeah, I
I don't
guess it
know,
was.
but it works, isn't it? But now you see pigeons literally walking around. They don't even know what they're doing. Like their purpose is gone, but there's still loads of them there. They're just like
Mm.
shitting on everyone. Just die.
They're all linking up at
But they
Trafalgar Square just to shit on people.
literally. But what I'm saying is, it's just like their purpose is gone because obviously we've now got Royal Mail. I hope you like my analogy.
Honestly, I think that's the perfect point to call it there.